Well, it's been about, it's actually been about 2 months now. I've allowed my atlatl and dart materials to dry. The thrower, the atlatl itself, has dried. It looks good. There's not really any warpage on it, so that's usable. But the darts are dry as well. Unfortunately, you can see they're not straight. You don't have to get your spears actually perfectly straight, but you certainly want them better than this. So next order of business is I need to start a fire and get these heated and straightened. After starting your fire, add wood until you've got a good bed of coals. Then carefully heat the darts by moving them back and forth over the fire to prevent scorching. When hot to the touch, bend out the kinks and hold until it's cool. Straightening the spears will usually take numerous rounds of heating and straightening, so be prepared to spend some time at it. After sections of the spear have been straightened, I help to set the corrections by dipping the shaft into a cool stream. Heating and straightening continues until the shafts are amazingly straight. So after several bouts of heating and straightening, we've gotten this dart pretty darn straight. Now, you'll see it's not perfect, but that's okay, it doesn't have to be. It's just a heck of a lot straighter than it was before. So now we'll heat the other one, get it straightened, and we can proceed with finishing these darts up. Making quality darts is a time-consuming and labor-intensive process. I believe that most prehistoric hunters would have been careful craftsmen and would have been able to create surprisingly consistent and well-balanced spears. If precise corrections are needed, the dart can be bent against a small tree, as I'm doing here. Well, we've got the darts nice and straight, and the next thing we need to do to these is apply the feathers to the back end. Now, whether or not ancient people actually put feathers on their darts is up for debate. I've never actually examined any authentic atlatls and their darts, but I would assume that they were definitely used by at least some people in prehistory. They are not absolutely necessary for these, because if you make them right and you balance them right, they will always land point first anyway. But the feathers on the back end do clean up the flight, make them a little bit more consistent at close range. So for this set, we're going to go ahead and put feathers on them. Now, before I fletch these darts, what I need to do is cut the back end, and where I'm going to cut them is right here behind this joint. What this is going to do is this joint will actually reinforce this dart, so when you throw it, it will prevent it from splitting. But also, I'm going to cut it and leave a little bit of this cane here. Because the cane is hollow, that'll make a natural indentation for the spur of the dart to fit in. Now, this won't take very long at all. All I have to do is just score it with the stone flake. All you gotta do is just score it like that and break it off cleanly. One other thing we need to do is hollow this out. You can see that hole is not exactly round, and we want that dart to fit in there well, so this is going to need to be rounded off a little bit. Just use this flake as a drill. Much better. Before tying on the feathers, I scratched the smooth cane with my flint flake to give the binding something to grip. Cane is so smooth that it needs to be roughened up, otherwise the bindings will slide. I then split a long piece of deer sinew and chew it until it's completely soft and saturated. I then wrap the feathers onto the dart. Holding the sinew in my teeth frees up both hands, making it much easier to place the feathers. I secure the feathers upside down and pointing backwards, but after being secured, they'll be folded over and secured at the front. When the feathers are folded into position, I again use a stone flake to score the area where the sinew will be so that it will hold securely. I also score the smooth quill of the feather so the sinew will hold it and it won't work loose. Well, I finally got the fletch done on this dart and it looks really good. The technique I used was really simple. Just used 2 whole feathers, tied in the back, folded them over, and then tied them in the front. You can, if you want, split the feather in half and use 3 like they do typical traditional arrows today, but really it isn't necessary. This is a very simple technique. It works really well and it's really all you need. Now that this dart's fletched, I got to get going on the second one, and these things are getting close to being done.